What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Robski, and it is February 10th, 2020. I am doing a couple things I'm doing on this. Guys, um, for those of you out there, you really need to check out Aaron Clary's work, especially if you're a young male between the ages of 18 and, say, 50. I'm not saying that 50 is young, but I'm just saying that that would apply to his work would apply, but especially if you're pre-college or post-college. If I would have read what this guy has written, I would have had a much better life, and I would have. I would have just enjoyed life a lot better. I'm also gonna do other kind of reviews on what's going on in the sports world as well. Colin Cowherd had a very interesting hot take on Tom Brady joining the Cowboys. And after I explained it, it actually made a lot of sense. I honestly think that if Tom Brady did go to the Cowboys, he'd have a lot of success there, even at his age, because of all the weapons and pieces. Plus, as much as I love Dak Prescott, I think Dak Prescott's a great guy and a stand-up guy, but I personally don't believe he's worth what they're asking. So, anyways, for those of you guys that if you haven't got one of these yet, you're like me, that are just reading all the time. The Amazon Kindle, this has been like the best Christmas present I've ever gotten. And the reason why I collected books, but now I just, I gave them to Goodwill because all this can fit on the Kindle. And it's great because it's just, at first I'm like, well, why do I need a Kindle when you got a smartphone? But if you look at just kind of how things come up, the text, it's bad. You can't really see it. But it's just so like, yeah, that's a little better. See how that, it's all right there. It just flows smooth. And it is like reading an actual book rather than a screen, small screen of the smartphone. So with this Kindle, like I said, I just did a book review about No Easy Day not too long ago. I'm going to show you one of the best works that I've read because there's so much practical knowledge. I really wish that I read this a long time ago. So just a second here. I'm going to get this here. Okay. And just bear with me here. This book is called Worthless, and it's by Aaron Clarey. And this has been one of the most essential reads I've read because it explains the student loan crisis that I'm currently in, and also explains just all the red tape in the education system. I mean, this guy cuts right to the chase of what you need to do, what you need to study, and what all the rest is crap. And it talks about all the factors that I experienced as a young man, and a lot of it I blamed on myself. When in all reality, it was a combination of things. Yes, it was myself, but part of it was, if I would have just relaxed and not got caught up on to what everyone else is doing and really focus on what I was doing, I would have had a much better life and not worried. One of my biggest regrets in life is going into debt for college. I think that's an absolute. I think going into debt period now is just something you shouldn't do, specifically after you read this guy. But anyways, Worthless. It's a good book for anybody to read because it talks about just who's getting rich off all these people and the student loans getting poor. Why our education system's failing. If you do go into college, he goes right to the degrees that you should go get. And if you don't get those degrees, you shouldn't even mess around with it. He also talks about the value of trade schools now in today's culture. Um, and then the other book I'm reading by his, I'm reading it right now. It's called Enjoy the Decline, and it's really, oh gosh. And Dave Ramsey said this, and it's so critical, guys, that you read and you read all the time because they're so like I'm learning so much. Anyways, Enjoy the Decline talks about kind of keeping up with the Joneses. Something really interesting that I learned was that the people that when Nazi Germany invaded, there were people stuck in Berlin and they couldn't go to the west or they couldn't go to the east because they were going to die anyways. And so what they did was they started partying. They just accepted that this is how it was, so we're just going to enjoy life, and that's kind of what Enjoy the Decline's about. One of the landmines that I haven't done yet is I don't have any children, and I don't have a girlfriend that wants an expensive wedding, and I don't think I'm ever going to do that because getting into an expensive wedding, that's an industry in itself, and that's the same thing as the average wedding costs $20,000, and it's just like why are you doing this? Why? So, um, reading Clary was really, I was really worried about my career and what I'm going to be, and now I'm not at all. Okay, I got a decent job that brings in good money for Boise, Idaho, and I'm going to do exactly what he says: enjoy the decline. Okay. Um, One of the things I want you guys to consider is doing a minimalist lifestyle. Okay, and here's why. So if I had a chart here, I would explain kind of the levels of society. Okay, so I'm talking everybody from the homeless all the way up to the super rich, like Jeff Bezos. We're talking celebrities. And what I'm learning with all of these, with reading like Enjoy the Decline, and then the experience that I've pursued, one of the worst classes to be in is the working middle. It's terrible. And the reason why is because you're a wage slave. Okay, that's kind of what the job that I do now. Granted, I do get commission, so it's not completely a wage slave. But a lot of these jobs and a lot of these, basically, if you're a young male and you don't do anything special, like if you're just a typical run of the mill 20 something man, okay, you pretty much got no. I'm not gonna lie, you got no chance in corporate America. You're going to be a bottom feeder no matter what you pursue, even if you're like a lawyer. You're not going to be doing the high end stuff. It's just not how it works because you have all these other people that are controlling the market. So I would encourage young men to just say, hey, to hell with it. And do, like I said, try to become an entrepreneur. I'm really looking into um, entrepreneur as a lifestyle. And it's because it's almost like a win-win because it's like you're going to be miserable as a young man in their 20s. Doesn't matter what degree you got. No one cares. You're going to be miserable starting out your working life. Okay. The way our society is, and this is why we're having so much problems. This is why the family unit has declined. Young men are set up for failure. Bottom line, young men in this culture are set up to fail. And the reason why is, we're taught to, you see the people, you see the successful people, they got the cars and they got the girls and they got the high status job. That's so not reality. That is not reality. The reality is, just like I was, when I graduated college, it was the worst years of my life. I was miserable. And what I didn't understand was I thought it was my fault. I thought, I was up in Lewiston, Idaho, living with my parents, working job to job. And I just, luckily, my instincts were right. I moving down to Boise was a very good decision for me. But I'm so much healthier mentally now after reading this guy. Because like I said, another thing that bothers me is he talks about the government. So another way that we're set up to fail is like, say you're a young man and you end up making 70 grand a year. The government's going to take so much of that because you're single, because you're in that tax bracket. So it's a lose-lose. It's a lose-lose for men. So that's why I'm telling you guys, adopt the minimalist lifestyle. And here's a crazy thing that he said, and I totally believe it. He says you're more likely to become rich if you adopt the minimalist lifestyle, because he's right. You're not going to become rich working the 9 to 5 wage slave, working for some a-hole boss. It's just like, in high school and college, you got those people over you, the professors, they're setting you up to fail and to slowly kill yourself. That song by the Bad Wolves called Killing Me Slowly? That's exactly what you're doing. Look into entrepreneurship, guys, but definitely read Worthless and definitely read Enjoy the Decline. Read all of Aaron Clarey's works. I'm on his second book. I'm almost have it finished, and I've learned a ton just about things are set up. So yeah, the NFL. Oh, I gotta tell you about my Idaho City trip too. I went up to a hot spring last weekend, and it was great. Only spent $20, and it was quite the trip. So I recommend if guys ever come to Idaho, look into Idaho City. They got a really good hot spring, only $20. So that's all I got for me today, guys. Again, I want to reiterate, especially if you're a young man watching this, guys, don't compete with other people. You're just get off the Facebook and don't try to, become who you are, and don't, who cares? Like, the more people post on, like, getting wet, girls and the house they just bought and the marriage they got, they're suckers. They're miserable. They're miserable because they're competing with everybody else, and most likely they're going to get divorced anyways. And they're really not that big of a deal. Like, the people that you go to the college with, and I was in it. I did the whole frat thing, and men especially were so competitive. But it's like, now what I've read, it's like, why? Who cares if you're making $100,000 a year? There's somebody out there making $300,000 a year, and it's just stupid. Your health is going to go. Your health is more important than your salary. So now, granted, I'm like to get rich too, but you're not going to get rich doing the 9 to 5. I'm just doing that my priorities are way better now. So, and I feel healthier. I feel great. Guys, this is your boy Robski. Read Aaron Clarey, read Worthless, read Enjoy the Decline. And other than that, you guys all have a great day. Robski out.